Okay, so we haven't played with the Civic for a while. We're going to get back into it. I want to get it on the road. I want to drive it around again, so it needs a little bit of TLC. So it's been sitting here for a couple of months now on the hoist with everything piling up around it. So we just cleaned it up a bit, got on the hoist ready to go. The main things that we're going to do is the coilover on the driver's rear is leaking, so we're going to change that. Full service, check everything, nut and bolt check. We did get some of the cheap knockoff fail side mirrors, so we're going to have a look at them as well. We do need new tyres. Yeah, I think there's a couple other things to look at, but we'll kind of go through the whole thing. So get it up on the hoist and we'll get that back end apart, get these wheels off and start moving forward. Okay, so we've pulled the two back tyres off the car, and as you can see, there's a lot of oil leaking out of here. All up in there, she's been leaking for a bit, but this here, this bush in this adjustable arm here is flogged out. This one's not real good, so we're actually going to change both of these for both sides of the cars. The other one's not as bad, but they're a cheap one when we put them in, so we're going to change them out. And I might even rebuild both rear shocks at the same time. The other one's not leaking, but while I'm at it, might as well just do both, just so they're all new in the rear end. But we'll get all this gear out, drop both shocks out, drop these arms out, and then we'll go hunting we'll have to track down those adjustable pieces for the rear here. I can't remember what they're called, but we'll have to track them down, and we'll hunt the seals again for these. Should be exactly the same as when we changed in the front, so I'll contact the guys that got it for me last time, and we're going to get that together. It's not too bad in there, but yeah, it's not real happy either, so we'll still look into new ones, because I don't think you're going to be able to buy bushes for these. I've tried before for another type of rear lower arm, and it just wasn't going to happen, so we'll see what we can suss out. Okay, so we've got both the rear suspension out and those adjustable arms. Now the adjustable arms aren't actually overly terrible. We're going to have a look around anyway. That one certainly wasn't sitting quite pretty. This coilover isn't too bad. Oh, hello puppy. This coilover isn't so bad, but that one is definitely shot and sealed. So we're definitely going to change both of those out. Going to put a kit through both of them just for the sake of having it back done. Now, some of the future plans that we got for this thing is a major engine upgrade. We're actually going to look at putting a K-Series 2.5 litre in it out of a 05 Honda Accord, which we actually have sitting around, so that's a bit of a future thing that's going to come up. But while we've got this apart, while the body of the Accord is here, we're actually going to have a look at some of the brakes to see whether anything's interchangeable. Now, I know it's a 5 stud rear pattern, so we may have to upgrade rims, tyres. We may have to upgrade a lot of stuff on that. We certainly need a brake upgrade for that size engine going into this car. It's a hell of a lot safer. So first priority though is to get it back on the road. We'll get these things sorted, get the parts sorted, get them back together and get it in. But while we're going, we're going to have a wait for this. We're also going to start looking at the mirrors, fitment of the rear bars. We've got to cut stuff for that aftermarket bar we got, a bunch of other stuff. So at this stage we'll get it running, and then again one day she's going to get a stripped down paint job, more than likely after the new motor gets built and put in. So let's get going again. So one of the aftermarket little features that we got for the Civic a little while ago were these knockoff versions of these mirrors. Now they're nothing flash, they're only about like 100 bucks roughly on eBay. They're non-electric, which in the grand scheme of things right now isn't a great deal. I mean, I don't sit there messing with the electrics and the mirrors all the time, but for now we're going to leave them as this black or grey or whatever the hell this colour is. Put it on, see how it looks. If I don't like it, we can always paint them anyway, but for now we're going to trim with that out. So we're going to have a play putting these on, so hopefully there's not too many issues bolting these up. See how they look, something different. Okay, she says Okay, so the shed is a complete mess at the moment, so ignore that. But I've either misplaced, lost, more than likely, all the screws for these cameras and the bolts to put them together. So, bit of a hunt around, we found some not ideal thing to use in the plastic, wood screws, because it can blow the plastics out, especially on this smaller stuff, but these are obviously way too long, so we're going to cut them short. And these little self-tapping metal screws will actually fit in there quite nice, as long as that depth is okay when it's in the door. We are going to put washers on these ones here to go through here, because we want as much grab on this area as we can, because the mirror's hanging will fit outside. So at least we've got a solution for that for now. Now the other thing is the driver's door, the gauge is hanging off of that, where all the bolts are for that mirror. So we're going to have a look at that when we get there and figure something out. But we'll get this passenger one on first and use that as our troubleshooter. Hold there. Just these tags. There you go. Now pull it out. There you go. Okay, so one of the things I just found with these mirrors is they don't actually bolt straight on. Now, they go over that weather strip, which is one thing, but none of these holes line up on the inside with anything, which means we'd have to measure, drill, and then we'd have to drill more holes again to get the screws in for the mirror from the other side. So, I don't know. Well, it's a bit hard with the door on the hoist too, with the way it's shut, but we'll just keep chipping away at this one and see whether it's worth drilling a bunch of holes in the door. I'm not overly keen on that, but we'll give it a go, see what we can come up with, or crazily might be able to swap some, but I don't know. Might have a look. Okay, so their lovely assistant, we may not actually be that bad. Now we're going to have to screw the camera. We're going to have to screw the mirror to the base beforehand. We're going to look at making a seal as well, but this bottom screw, I don't know if you can see it, right just there, lines up with that, so we can get some longer stuff in there. This one here, feeling it, is just to the edge of here, and this one here is sort of about here. So thinking if we just drill out those two holes and have a mess around, we can probably get it in there. We might need to get something a little bit more nicer than those metal screws. They might even work fine, we'll see. Otherwise we will make a seal, because the seal on the outside, which is this one here, does not fit at all, and it obviously seals a lot of water from the inside of the door. So I want to work something out so there's not water cascading inside of the door every time we go anywhere or do anything. Less moisture in the door means less rust, means less issues for later on. So we'll come up with something, see what we can do, but definitely gonna make it work. But later on in the future, we might spend the dollars to get some electric ones anyway, but we'll go with this for now. Okay, so we measured up this plate and drilled these holes in here. Get a little bit of light in here. We've taken this one up here and this one down here. So we've come in sort of right where we need to be. So what we're going to do now is make a seal that fits in here for this, and then rust proof any of this. To touch that up, we don't want to get any water in there, but if we get that seal in there to stop stuff from just sitting at that point. So we're going to have a look for some foam rubber. Have a few things in there that'll probably work, and we can just sort of cut it, stick it on, and that should hopefully get us out of trouble. Okay, so this is like a compression joint foam that's used between concrete slabs and buildings and stuff. So this stuff here is reasonably waterproof. So we're going to cut that suit, so we'll put it all in here, cut it to fit that shape, and then we can just cut it while it's in the car. So we'll see how that goes. It will compress, so that's going to be exactly what we want. We've got a few different sizes here because we've been using this for some other stuff. So yeah, we'll have a play. make it work.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this.
Okay, so this made up still works pretty good. Seems to go on, goes in about there, so it's tucked in pretty good, can't really see it. But we've got the holes marked for the mirror, so we're going to put it together and then shove it on, see how we go. So we've got the mirror on. It's currently raining at the moment, and between work and everything, late nights is where we're going to have to start getting all that content in, or we're never going to make it happen. But it's on. Bit different. So a little bit weirdly shaped, a little bit smaller. I mean, it's not what I'm used to, so that doesn't matter. That other one is going to be a little bit more of a mess around because the tacho gauge is actually attached to the inside of the mirror. So we're going to wait probably until we get that one off the hoist, but we'll get the mirror ready anyway, have it all bolted together. It's just more of a mess around because we've got to pull everything apart to get into there. It's a bit more of a mission, but we'll make that happen. But we'll keep moving forward on this. The next thing is to do some fitment on the rear bar when it's not raining. We'll get in the bay and have a look at a few things now and just double check everything in there. See if there's anything we need to do. Nothing right now that's jumping totally out to what we need, but I think everything looks alright. If anything, we need a cover on the end of the throwout arm there for the throwout bearing. See if we can track one of those down. All the belts are good, mounts look good. There's nothing in here that sort of is jumping out. So we get a new air cleaner. That's alright. I know we've got a bulb out here, I think. We should look at that as well. The engine, the radiator bracket's a little rough, so make something a bit fancier for that. But otherwise, it's not looking too bad. But we'll do a full service. We'll do all the oils. We'll do the plugs. We haven't done anything for a while. Not going to worry about leads because I know they're not that old, but we'll do the plugs. She's as flat as a tack, so I'll have to charge that up. But otherwise, I mean, it's a good, reliable car as it is. I want to do the new K Series 2.4 for it. That's where that's going to be a whole new world for us because I have, you know, bolting kits plus I don't know what else. We're doing a lot of research and chatting to a lot of it. YouTube's a great research platform. Plus, we're joined up to a few books for K-Series swaps for these things. I've been chatting to a few guys. We'll get into that later on though. Right now, when I get back on the road, just hook around in it. Reality is it probably should get a whole new set of rotors through it. I can hang off on that for now until, and they're fine. They just need a new, in general, they're fine. We'll hang off on that for now. But I think really, yeah, the next thing is that the fitment, there is a liner for that somewhere. No idea what happened to that. It's buried here somewhere and all this stuff. But we'll have a look at this rear bar is our next step, which is buried over there. Okay, so we've got the rear bar off. We've taken off the little plates that go under the rear tail lights here. And we have our aftermarket bar here. So we've taken both sides off. Now this thing is actually for the next model up for a sedan, but I'm pretty sure we can make it fit. We're going to make it fit. It's going to fit better than anything else we got. So we're going to chop some stuff. We'll sit it on first, take some measurements, cut some bits, and then hopefully we won't have to massacre it too much.
You wanna love me? Well then baby, have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, fit it.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Okay, after like 10 goes, we got this thing sort of half fitted on the car. We had to butcher a lot of work in these two corners, but as you can see, the moment as it sits, it's still down a bit. You can see that in the dark on both sides. Come in here. See that bit of a drop. Now there's steel work in behind here. We would have to bend all out of the way, which we could get that in. We took the brackets out of here for the bar. These plates that go in here are never going to fit again because the way this bar is structured, all this is way too high, so we'd have to make all new plates for this side and for this side. And I mean, certainly different looking. I mean, it looks cool. We can lift the exhaust up. We can make a plate down here to secure things. It's a lot of hacking. Yeah, and we still got to structure the form of the car. We've taken out the crash brace in the back, so you know it's going to twist out of shape. Being forced into a position where it's not supposed to be, it's going to twist and crack later on in life, so it's going to deteriorate. So I don't know what to do now. We already hacked it up, so we can just start bending the car. But think about it, sit on it, think about it. But otherwise, at least we've got to start. We've got something that's there, and we've got an idea where it is. I mean, even for the boot lid to shut, as I said, we're going to have to cut all this section in here out on both sides. It's just not made for this car. It's made for an ED Civic, I think. Something like that. So not this model, but a couple out. So yeah, we'll keep having to play with this, and we'll reassess it and then figure it out. Go from there. Okay, so we probably just spent another 20 minutes kicking around with it again and hacked the heat more out in here, trimmed off this whole edge, both sides, and it looks like now that our problem is the steel structure under the back of here. If we bend all that out of the way on both sides, there's a good chance it'll fit. Now, even though we've done all of this, still going to think about it, because bending the steel in the car and then the other few things associated with that is still a lot more messing around. It's nothing we can't do. I just don't feel like bashing the side of the car in. But think about it. May even just trial it on one side gently, see how we go. But this stage, that's where we're set. So we've done pretty good progress. Yeah, we're going to make it fit. We've made it fit.